Right.
ask you a few little questions, and you just say the first thing that comes to the top of your mind.
Oh
Name,
God, this gonna get me in
situation.
trouble.
Hey guys, welcome to Muscle Memory. My name is Malcolm. And it's that time of season, man, as October starts to come around. It's that time of season starts to get a little colder outside, and pumpkin spice is like the whole new wave right now. It's that time of season when Impact Wrestling turns the lights even brighter for Bound for Glory. It's gonna be on October 7th, Albany, New York, Washington Armory, and we have someone that's gonna be calling his shot at the pay-per-view. It's Heath. How are you, man?
Man, I'm great, man. How you been doing?
I'm doing great. I mean, I know you're getting ready for a huge show. How important is Bound for Glory for Heath?
Dude, Bound for Glory is huge for everybody. I mean, it's the biggest pay-per-view for Impact. It's one hell of a pay-per-view period, like from start to finish. It's one of those pay-per-views that you do want to purchase. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
because there's always surprises. There's always a good match on there, and it's a good show all around. But for me, man, it's actually very important in many reasons. One, I was in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet Battle Royal 2 years ago, but then I got hurt right during it, So it was like a big punch in my daggone mouth, So it took me out for 11 months, I had to have, a few surgeries and all that. And now, 2 years later, I look at it as like a redemption, what I need to go for, what I need to solve, what I need to win. So everyone that's in the gauntlet, man, watch out because I'm gonna come in there like a damn hurricane and I'm gonna destroy everybody.
You'd love to see those are fighting words. And like you mentioned before, you obviously you're in the Call Your Gauntlet match 2 years ago, and that's when you got injured. Like going into this year's, is there any anxiety kind of going into it? You're like, all right, we're on the same stage, same match. I gotta protect everything.
Of course there is. Physically I feel good. I've got my routine. How I stretch out and do all my stuff and everything. So I feel good. Mentally is where it's like, I need to get that out my head. I need to just say, you know what, you've been doing this for the last year and a half. You're good. You got this. You can do it. It's just that mental game. Once I conquer this, I'm gonna be fine. And literally I will. By October 7th, next Friday for Bound for Glory, I'm gonna be great.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And you'll probably win it too. But being able to perform that
No.
Bound for Glory compared to guys or compared to fans who are just watching like myself. For me, it's like a checkpoint for Impact Wrestling. It's like, all right, everyone just gather around. Let's see what Impact Wrestling's been doing for the last year. It's a good wrap up for every storyline, kind of like a season finale. But what's Bound for Glory mean for a performer like yourself?
Oh man, it's the biggest pay-per-view they have, and it's in Albany, New York. It's going to be a rowdy crowd. It's in a good venue. It's literally what everyone works for that year. It is Bound for Glory. That and Slammiversary are the two that always gets eyes. It always has surprises, and it's always that show. Everyone's like, "Holy crap! Did you see that?" You know what I mean? So it always gets that reaction. So it's one of those pay-per-views. If you're a wrestling fan, you should purchase it, and you're gonna love it just because they always deliver, man. I've been to the last two, as Impact, and I've been like, man, that was a damn good show. Everyone killed it. Good job, guys. Hell yeah, let's go have a beer and celebrate.
I was gonna say, what's the celebration after a big pay per view like that for the Impact locker rooms? I know that's kind of the time of year where everyone's really let's all watch Impact Wrestling.
Dude, everyone's on their toes for sure. And this is before the pay per view. You can just feel it. You can just feel it in the air. You can just look at everyone, and you can just see that they're in their zone. They're focused. No one's, a few people's chit-chatting, but a lot of people are focused, man, ready, making sure they don't miss the spot, whatever. It's one of those things to where you can see everyone's wanting to bring that A game for sure. So it's that type of vibe, but it's afterwards, once it's all said and done and the dust is settled, it's one of those yeah, let's have a good time. Cheers, did you see that? Did you see that? We all celebrate we're, a sports team, just being like, oh man, this is great. My back, man, kills me, but that was great. You
It
know
seems
what I
like you've
mean?
really like been enjoying like your run in Impact Wrestling so far. And like what's been like the transition like going from like a stage like WWE to now being an Impact locker room that like maybe that, like a lot of wrestlers don't realize is like the freedom of Impact or whatnot. Like what's been a transition for you?
Dude, it has been a big transition, honestly. But it's like, in New York, up there, it's like, you get a script, you have a one-man audience. Well, you did, like, Hunter's taking over, which is he's an awesome dude, he's probably going to make it, amazing. But before, when I was up there, it was like you had a one-eye audience. You had to make sure you do everything, said everything, all of that. You couldn't really be yourself. I mean, for the damn 12 years I was up there, I had so many different gimmicks, it wasn't even funny. But I get the Impact, and it's like, so how do you feel? Who do you want to be? Talk to me about you. What would you do? Like they want to know, they want to help. And like if you're passionate about a storyline or a gimmick or whatever, they will add the fuel to the fire and help you try to burn it, like help you like try to get it over. I mean, this whole redhead rebel thing, man, this has been me since I was a teenager, like being honest. Like I've always been that fly by your pants. Oh, you want to do it? All right, let's go. But I'll turn it up a notch, like I've always been that guy. So it's like with me being at Impact, it was like, you know what? I don't want to be the butt of the jokes because I'm not. I don't. I want to be the funny man because I am. Like I like to have a good time. I like to put a smile on your face. But it's like, don't take my kindness for a weakness because I'll still bust your ass if I need to.
Ooh.
Like period. I mean, like you might be able to beat me up. You might beat me up, but tomorrow when you wake up, you're gonna know you've been in a fight and you're gonna hurt also. That's how I feel. So it's one of those things to where I want to portray that as this, and they're allowing me to do it, and they're allowing me to have freedom. They're allowing me to, go out there and say what I would say instead of reading everything off and trying to memorize everything. So in that aspect, like they help you grow and they get behind what you believe in. And I respect the hell out of that. And it allows us to be us.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. Because especially it's good for like you guys have that freedom because you guys at the end of the day, like our performance, so you guys know what you're doing. So like it's okay to be yourself. But like looking 100%. At like Impact Wrestling, have you always been a fan of like TNA Impact Wrestling growing up as like some business?
Yeah, of course. Like I was always switching through when they were on Spike and everything. Like I'm just a wrestling fan. Yeah. Like sometimes this product puts out great stuff, but then sometimes they don't. It's the same thing over here. They still put out some great stuff, but then sometimes they don't either. Everyone's going to talk junk about this, all that. It's like, dude, come on. If you're a wrestling fan, support the people you like and damn love it. Just shut up. It's like, come on, man. Be a fan of wrestling. Yes, some of it sucks, but some of it's really good too.
Love it. Like for someone that's been on like pretty much every stage of wrestling right now, what's like the secret to like getting Impact Wrestling to that level it once was? Because I know a lot of people maybe turn away from like Impact Wrestling because like, oh, it's not the TNA I once saw. Like for you, someone that's like been around for almost everything, like what's the secret to like getting that product out there more?
Brother, that's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That's not talent. Talent's out there busting their ass. That's period. That's just how it is. That's how it always is. We go out there, we perform because our neck's on the line, and if we mess up, it's on us. It's us. It's not them. But that's a behind the scene question. That's an answer I can't give you. Would I like for them to be? Of course, man. Of course. But that's work that I have no hands on. So I don't know. That's about like once you get an interview with one of those guys behind the scenes, ask them that because I want to know too.
Got you. We'll try to find it. We'll try to figure it out. But I'm gonna transition like I want to change gears a little bit because there's someone that's in wrestling right now. She just made her debut recently, who is a very big fan of yours. She calls you a wrestling dad. We talked about it a little bit off camera. Her name's Emily J. She just recently had her wrestling debut. Like, she looks to you as like this idol. Like, she's always talking about Heath. I've been friends with her for like 6 to 7 years, always talking about Heath. Was there someone for you coming up in the business that you saw as like a wrestling dad or parent, or someone that just like guided you and helped you to get to where you are?
Dude, honestly, whenever I like in the business growing up and everything, like, like my grandfather got me in, like watching it and got me like, ooh, I want to do that. But being in the business and everything, like Dr. Tom Pritchard and Arn Anderson has been two dudes that has had my back, has helped me inside and outside the ring to where I have nothing but damn good things to say about them, man. Like, there ain't nothing I can't say bad about them. Like, when it comes to just being a best friend, trainer slash not really father but big brother, Dr. Tom Pritchard, man, my goodness, like he treated me like he was my uncle, like maybe an uncle, but he was so real with me and helped me. And any question I had, he answered. And if I didn't understand, he helped me understand, and that's not just wrestling in the ring and owning my craft. That's outside the ring as Heath Miller, as the man confused and not knowing what to do, and him already going through it and helping me.
Yeah.
Once I made it to WWE and everything, Arn Anderson took me underneath his wing. Brother told me about, hey kid, you don't ever know how long you're gonna be here. You need a financial advisor. You need a good, laid it out for me to where I'm like, shoot, okay, I'm gonna follow your lead. Thank God I did, because now it was like, that was 10 years of savings and everything, to where once you did get released, you're like, all right, I'm gonna still go over here and wrestle a little bit and have some fun, but he helped me be able to have a big cushion when everything came crashing down, and like still to this day, like he texted me 2 days ago, just to check up on me, so it's like, dude, I love him. Like, I love him to death, so yes, like I can honestly say the two men in wrestling that's really like had my back is Dr. Tom Pritchard and Arn Anderson.
Wow, that's amazing. That's great. And like, I want to like transition and play like a little game with you, Heath. It's called Muscle Memory. That's the name of the show. So I'm basically going to ask you a few little questions, and you just say the first thing that comes to the top of your mind.
Oh God, this is gonna get me in trouble.
I mean, if you don't want to answer, you can say no comment too. No hatred at all. But are you ready?
I hope.
All right, let's see. The first question is, while you're in the WWE, like, was the locker room also still watching TNA at that time, like just seeing around different wrestling products? And who was the most mentioned name?
I remember once when TNA was like really pumping on Spike and wrestling and WWE. I was in developmental at the time in Tampa at FCW, so we had two TVs on watching TNA and WWE, And I remember the night, it was like Hogan and somebody and Brett and Shawn. I forget who it was. Bischoff, maybe it's, I forget who all was on there, but it was like a big moment. And I remember we both were watching both of them, being like, oh crap, what's happening? I want to see what's going to happen. So yeah, like back in the day, we were in developmental for sure. But once we got to WWE, like WWE, you're always going, you're like, it's like you catch bits and pieces, but you're concentrating on you. But of course, back then you looked at AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Kaz, James Storm, you're looking at a little bit, Abyss, you look at the name guys being like, man, they can fit in over here. They're good. Like, of course, and AJ's phenomenal. Like, he totally is. Like, and we're all like, oh yeah, he can work over here. Like, what the hell, But of course, you looked at these guys being like, oh yeah, I like to work him, man. It'd be cool to work him, man. We could do some good stuff, like that type deal.
It's crazy to see how some of those guys actually eventually went over to WWE as well. But get into the next question. From your Raw 1000 like lead up, as you're facing all the legends, like when they said like, oh, you're facing this guy this week, who was like the one that's like, all right, I'm a little nervous to get in the ring with this guy, just because as iconic as everyone was, they're also a little bit older than they once were.
For sure. What's funny about that, bro? I wasn't even supposed to have that spot. You
Oh, really?
know, that spot literally, I went to Raw and it was, however many weeks before Raw 1000. And I went to Raw and I just looked on, you go to TR, you check in and all this stuff. I looked on the card and it literally said Heath versus Vader. And I'm like, the hell? Like, hold on. What they got going up their sleeve here? Who's going to beat me up dressed up as Vader? Toronto was like, nah, pal, like, you're wrestling Vader. I was like, whoa, what? And then I was like, what's going on here? He was like, leading up to Raw 1000, we're bringing in a legend, blah 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 blah. I'm like, so who's next? He's like, I don't know yet, but we're just filling guys in to wrestle these guys. I'm like, no, let me be this guy. Let me be an anti-legend. Screw the old people, man. It's my time. And then he was like, go to Vince, pitch it to him. I walked right to Vince's office, knocked on the door, walked in there, pitched him pretty much the same idea. And he was like, you're willing to do that? I was like, hey, yes, I am willing to do that. Give me a minute promo. I send him down. Let him beat me. Who cares? He was like, well, yeah, okay, let's do that then. I'm like, holy crap. But I had no idea who I'm working each week. It was like Vader's the first night. Yeah. And what's funny is like people would come up, like some of the older guys would be like, hey, he's stiff in there, watch out. Like protect yourself, fight back if you have to. And I'm like, oh God, like I'm thinking, here I am, 10-year-old me, watching Vader walk down the guardrail being scared to death of him. Now I'm about to step in the ring with this dude, So it was like, I wasn't supposed to have this storyline. Now I'm working every legend underneath the sun for the next leading up to Raw 1000. And my first match is Vader, So thank God he was Teddy Bear Vader, such a great human being, so nice. He wasn't the mastodon ready for blood Vader. He was more of a teddy bear Vader at the time. So he was so cool, so sweet, so nice. And what really blew my mind for the finish, we're all like, oh, maybe a little Vader bomb, He's like, I think I can do the moonsault. And I'm like, oh, whoa, no, please, no, what? Like, really? And I look at Mike Rotundo because he was my agent. And Mike was like, oh, I don't think you need that, maybe just a Vader bomb, in the corner. And Vader's like, okay, yeah, we can do that. I'm like, oh, God, thank God. Not that he couldn't do it, but I was just nervous as hell.
Yeah,
but thank God everything was smooth. And he, like I said, I got to meet Teddy Bear Vader. I didn't get to meet the crazy mastodon that everyone always like, oh, he's so mean and stiff. I got to meet good Vader, so it was a pleasant surprise for me. And then from there, bro, it was just
all of them. That was insane.
Yeah,
that was such like a crazy just like lineup. I'm like, whoa, Heath versus Sid Vicious, Heath versus like Road Warrior. I'm like, what is going? Doink the Clown was one of them. I was like, what the heck is happening? This is amazing. Some of the best I've ever seen.
It was so fun and good, man. I loved it. And that was some of the best time of my time up there.
Oh, for sure.
I was living out my childhood, bro. Oh, so much fun times.
Getting to the next question. If you could pick one person from the original FCW locker room to join the original Nexus lineup, who would it have been? That wasn't in Nexus already.
Johnny Curtis, he would have been one. Damn. I kind of wished I could reorganize the order it came up.
Yeah.
But what we had was great because everyone fit their spot for sure. But I was hoping that Curtis Axel and Fandango would have been up in the original group.
Yeah.
Because they came, like, Dango never got in, but Curtis came back whenever it was like starting to get like watered down Nexus, not the original threat, the killers, but I wish Dango and Axel could have been in the first wave.
Oh, that would have been such a cool moment to have both those guys. I mean, obviously Axel was, but like having that original lineup would have been perfect, especially with family lineage and everything. That definitely would have been super.
100%.
But getting to like this last question, it's a little spicier. So let's see what answer you got. Who is your favorite and least favorite member of the original Nexus?
Oh, shit, I don't know if I can answer that, man.
Yeah.
I honestly don't have a least favorite, if you want me to be honest. I get along. I got along with all of them,
Yeah.
but I'm that guy. I'm that guy that like I can talk to you for 10 minutes and tell that there's something I like about you,
Yeah.
even though other people be like, ah, he sucks. I'm like, nah, man, he ain't that bad. You know, you just haven't talked to him. You know what I mean? I was that middleman. I feel like in Nexus because we still have a big text thread, man, and we still talk. But there's a couple members that don't talk to each other, but they would definitely talk to me about each other. So, like, I've always been like the middleman in Nexus for through on out because there'd be sometimes where like, ah, he won't answer this, he won't do that, and then I'll have to make a phone call to make other people talk to each other. It's like a dysfunctional family, you know, like a little land of misfit. But yeah, I just want to say I love my brothers.
You seem like someone that'd be like the glue of like an argument. I can see that perfectly. That makes sense.
Brother, I've been doing it for years. I've been doing it for years, man.
Heath, as we start to wrap this up, I have two more questions for you. Obviously, our
Yo,
character now, Impact Wrestling, is a lot more serious than it was in the WWE. Do you like having like
mhm.
a character that's not necessarily like a comedy character compared to like what you were?
Of course, man. I don't want to be the butt of every joke. You know, like this is what I want to be, man. I want to be what I'm doing. I want to be funny. I want to have fun. But like that's just who I am. Like, don't disrespect me, and I won't disrespect you, and we will get along. But once you do, don't think I won't say something or say, "Hey, man, like, what do you want to do?" Because, like I said earlier, you will feel it the next morning, even though if you beat me up, you're still going to hurt the next morning because you're going to get beat up too.
Oof,
Period. Yeah,
you love to
and
see it.
that's what I'm trying to do with this. You
I
know, the
like it.
redhead rebel, man.
I like it. I like it. Now, as we get to the final question, now since you're in Impact Wrestling, is this like where you see the
Yep.
rest of your wrestling career playing out in this company, and what are your goals being on this roster?
Oh, brother, my goal is to hold every title for sure. You know, have fun doing it. But you know, like that whole future telling of playing out and where I'm going to be. I'm 39 right now. I see guys that's nearly 50 still going to where I'm just like, who the hell knows what's going to happen? Like, I mean, for real. And I mean, and this is me talking. I think everyone would have the same answer. Like, do I enjoy Impact? Hell yeah. They offer me another good deal. Would I take it? Probably because I'm having so much fun at my home with the babies and like with being family man too, because like other companies are gone every week.
Yeah.
Impact you're gone every other, you know. So it's like, and they like let you have fun and do conventions and everything, you know, just to have some fun and make some extra cash or whatnot. But down the road, man, who the hell knows what's going to happen, man? Like I said, I'm 39. I always said I'm going to go till I'm 45. So who the hell knows, you know?
Well, it looks like you got a lot more years left in the tank. Heath, this was amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the channel today. Where can I find you on social media? Maybe buy that T-shirt you have on right there.
I'm gonna say these t-shirts are on prowrestlingtees.com, but I do have an awesome one on Impact Shop also. But dude, I'm on Twitter and I'm on Instagram. If anyone says I'm on something else, I'm not. And my handle is Heath XXII, like the Roman numerals.
I like it. I like it. Guys, you can watch Bound for Glory on October 5th in Albany, New York, and you can also order on Fight TV if you're not going to be there in person. Heath, thank you so much for coming on the channel today. And guys, make sure to subscribe. We're out.